Prologue. Donrest village lay in golden fields, blissfully unaware of the danger beyond the mountains. Nitharion, an ancient guardian, taught magic songs. One night, the sky tore open with a loud rip, revealing a black starvoric sign. The elders feared the hollow star, a god that devoured worlds. Nitharion, Velen, and Lyril led a strike team. Nitharion felt destiny calling, enchanted by Lyril's laughter. Even serious Velen couldn't resist her charm as they raced toward adventure. They crossed the glass wastes, where the sands sang and buried cities whispered. They battled the serpent of the 9 rivers, with Nitharion chaining it and Velen delivering the final blow. By the campfire, they dreamed of peace, free from Vorek. 3 months after leaving Donrest, they reached the Cloud Kingdom. The air was thin and cold, but Nitharion felt ready. He wielded the Codex Lux, its pages blazing with spells older than the stars. Valen fought like a tempest, his silver sword flashing in the firelight. Lyril's magic wove around him, a dance of fire and light. Vorok weakened, and the trio pressed on. Nitharion poured his power into the sealing spell, trapping him in the void. Silence fell. "It's done," Velen gasped. "We saved the world." Nitharion turned to Lyril, heart full, but her eyes were unreadable. She stepped closer, and before he knew it, the shard slid between his ribs. "Why?" Nitharion gasped. "The world needs heroes, and you're too powerful to share the spotlight," said Velen. Nitharion watched as they walked away, hand in hand, while the star signaling Vorek's return faded. This is Nitharion, the first of his name, the Ashen Reincarnation, and this is his story. Chapter 1. 100 years later, in a quiet village near the Veilspire ruins, 16-year-old Kale jolted awake from a dream of fire and betrayal. His heart raced, and his messy white hair stuck out like crazy. He dreamt of a glowing book, a silver blade, and a kiss before death. It was the new moon the day. His sister always said to forget because their parents died then. Villagers whispered about forgotten screams in the wind. Kale didn't believe in ghosts, but maybe his dreams connected to some past life. As the sun set, Kale stepped out of his hut and climbed the hill, brushing off the thorns that scratched his arms. He took a deep breath, ready to reach the top. He saw a rock, glowing moonlight broke through the clouds. Hitting a rock, when Kale touched the monolith, buried in ash, everything shifted. Pain surged through his arm as it glowed green, shadowy tendrils wrapping around him. He couldn't escape Nitharion. The Ashen King was claiming him. Memories flooded, backflying, battles, lost love, and a hint of hope. He remembered his 2 companions, their adventures, and the betrayal. They lived on their 1,000-year lifespans intact, ruling from the floating citadel of Aetherin's crown, seen as gods. But Nitharion knew the truth. Their betrayal ran deep. Kale stumbled back from the monolith, breathless. The green glow faded, but the ancient power inside him coiled, ready for action. He pressed a hand to his chest, feeling the echo of another heartbeat beneath his own. Nitharion. The name was no longer just a whisper in his mind. It was a presence, a shadow standing behind him, guiding his thoughts. Visions still burned in his eyes. Velen's cold smile. Lyril's honeyed voice. The silver blade sliding between his ribs. The roar of a god dying. The taste of blood and betrayal. Kale clenched his fists. "They're alive," he murmured to the empty night. "And they think I'm gone." A voice, his own but different, echoed. "We will make them remember." A chill swept through him as he gazed at the monolith, its peak lost in ash clouds. The Valstone inside pulsed with fading green fire. Why was he here again? Kale pressed his hands against the rough stone, trying to recall why he was there. Suddenly, an ancient heartbeat pulsed through him as the battlefield fell silent. Through that rift, something leaned close. It had no face, only a crown of shifting shadow and eyes like dying stars. Its gaze pinned him in place, stripping him bare, peeling away every lie he'd ever told himself. And then, the hand. Black as the void between worlds, fingers long enough to blot out the sun. It reached through the wound in the sky and took him. Not to save. Not to comfort. But to claim? The heartbeat inside him now was the echo of that grip. Kale staggered, clutching his chest. He wasn't alive because fate had spared him. He was alive because something had chosen him. And it was still watching. Somewhere far beyond the Veilspear, Velen and Lyril lived in their stolen glory. And somewhere deep inside, Netherian's voice curled into a smile. When the time comes, it whispered, we will not just make them remember, we will make them beg. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button and smash the like button. Let's aim for 1,000. Thanks for watching my first video. Now, back to our hero who just got his memories back. The wind howled through Veilspire, carrying the scent of ash. Kale stumbled back from the monolith, breathless but feeling ancient power inside him. He pressed his hand to his chest, sensing Netherian's heartbeat. They're alive, he murmured to the night. And they think I'm gone? A voice echoed. We will make them remember. Chills raced down Kel's spine. Why was he back? Then it hit him, a flash of silence before the blade fell, the sky burning green. Something leaned close, faceless, with shifting shadows and dying stars for eyes, stripping away every lie he'd ever told. A dark hand snatched Kale from the sky, not to save him, but to claim him. Velen and Lyril thrived, while Netherian smirked, whispering, when the time comes, they'll remember and beg. The mountains stood strong, yet the heartbeat inside his chest, the one that wasn't his, thudded slow and heavy. But the serpent coil of power in his veins felt thin, frayed, like a rope about to snap. When he reached for it, it slipped away, leaving only a faint burn in his palms. You are not ready, Netherian whispered. The grave claimed more. Kel's breath was ragged, and his legs shook as he pulled away from the monolith. The green fire had faded, leaving just a faint ember beneath his skin. He clenched his fists, furious at the weakness. Then why bring me back? The answer wasn't in words, but in a vision, a glimpse of the rift in the sky and a shadowy figure. Netherian said, pieces are scattered. You'll find them! Kale looked toward the horizon. His enemies thought him dead. They thought the game was over. They had no idea he was already moving. Kale crawled before he could strike, each step toward strength costing him. Descending from the Veilspire, he moved through dark pines and icy stones. Glancing at the flickering village lights in the timeless streets, Oi! Look what the wind dragged in! Kale turned as Jareth swaggered out of the alley, a smug grin plastered on his face, his ash-blonde hair catching the light. The tough-looking guy next to him was bald and scarred, arms crossed, while the hooded figure moved like smoke, metal glinting at his hip. Kale didn't trust them. Well, Jareth said, circling him. Rin said you'd crawl back. Guess he was right. Kale kept walking. You missed the newsrins off to Stellar Academy in a month's time! Real warriors, not. He glanced at Kel's worn clothes. Whatever you are! The others laughed, one spitting near Kel's boots. Kale spotted Rin at the edge of the square, leaning against a post with that wicked grin. No words needed. His look screamed, you're still nothing. Memory crashed over him like a tidal wave. A boot slammed into his ribs, knocking the breath out of him, while cruel laughter echoed through the rain. They pinned him down, face in the mud, with fists in his hair and kicks pushing him deeper. All he tasted was blood and grit, and no one came to help. He fought to shake it off. Kel's breath slowed, and his body shifted a half-step back. A subtle turn, the kind of move born from years of battle in another life. He locked eyes with Rin and said quietly, enjoy your head start. Rin's smile faded. What was that? Kale shot back. When I reach Stella, I'll be right above you. Rin and his crew laughed, tossing insults. Let's duel before the Stellar Academy exams next week. If I win, you're my servant and can't go to Nova. If you win, I'll drop out. Deal, Kale said, walking off. Netherian's voice echoed. Learn their world. Learn their weapons. Fists clenched, Rin thought. When the time comes, they won't just remember. They'll beg? His fists were tight as he walked, each step buzzing with the need for revenge. The laughter behind him faded, but it only made him more determined. Stellar Academy was more than just a school. It held secrets about the war against Vorak. He wasn't after fame, he just wanted the truth. Tomorrow, his training would start, and he was all in to uncover it. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.